Hello, hello, hello. This is Frida. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to knit this gorgeous hat. Yes, indeed. Here's the crown. Let's get started. It's a little bit tough here to show you the hat on the mannequin head. Let me see if I can put it like this. Oh well. It's a bucket hat that we're going to be knitting. Okay, and when I lay it down, this is how it looks like. Okay, the yarn is just fantastic to knit with this. I had this yarn in my stash, only one ball. And it's called the Lion brand Wool Ease Thicken Quick. You can find this everywhere in your yarn shop, Michael's location, your local. So it like on my previous tutorial, if you have wool in it, that's the trick. It felts it when I wet block it, so it felts it right away when I agitate it. So it has 86% acrylic, 10% wool, and 4% other fiber. It says it's a 6 bulky. Okay, for this tutorial, I am going to give you details on how to knit it. I'm just trying to. I tried and tried and tried. The best way is with bulky yarn to knit this hat, this particular hat. And I checked and checked. I don't have bulky yarn. Most of my yarns are 4-weight and they're acrylic. Wools, I know I have in containers, but I have yarn blocking them, so I couldn't go through it. But I found this. I was lucky. I dyed this 3 years ago. And I will link it on how to dye on a wool yarn, which I dyed this. I was just checking because I couldn't find the label on the content of this yarn. So it looks like I bought this 2010. Yeah, so I would like to highly recommend knitting this particular hat with wool in it. So this one is perfect. I'm gonna keep this one. So I will not donate this hat because I think I paid a fortune because of the content. It has 70% merino wool, 20% alpaca, 10% silk. And it was hand dyed, but I didn't like how the colors were. There were lime and faded lime colors. So I repainted, redyed this on top of it. So I will put the link again. So there's wool in it. This is all wool, and this will felt. Therefore, I am going to give you numbers on how. See, I take notes like this. It's unbelievable, but I do. Sometimes I write them on my notepad here, my notebook here, and I go like that. And but I know, like when you look at it, no one will figure out the pattern that I wrote down, but I know. So if you want me to send you a pattern, please email to Funky Girls Working Shop. There's a fee for it for Canadians. If you do e-transfer, it's $5 Canadian. If you are in the USA or other countries, there's a $5 USA fee. Due to PayPal fee, that's the difference to cover that fee, I guess. $5 is not much. And people ask for patterns, and I'm sorry, I'm going to charge you if I'm going to sit down and write it neatly so you can do the tutorial. But if you don't want to, I would just say keep watching this tutorial over and over, and you can knit this hat. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we're going to cast on total of. Okay, on a 7mm knitting needle, I am going to. Okay, so we're going to cast on 81 plus 1, so 82 stitches. 81 is for the hat, and one stitch is just extra, so I can knit the 2 stitches together when I'm joining in around. And I'm using a 7mm knitting needle. And I believe this is a 6 bulky, because the yarn that I used on this hat, it was 6, and I have a feeling it's the same, but this one is wool. Even it has alpaca, it has silk, it has merino wool. It's wool. It's 100% wool. So I'm sure it's going to turn out good. I can even felt this while I am wetting it, wet blocking. So I am going to continue casting on. I do have tutorials on how to cast on. If you go onto my videos and then search for it, you can find on. I have several different tutorials on how to cast on. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cast on 82 stitches, and I am going to knit 2 stitches together to get rid of that 1 stitch. To do that, there would be no gap, so I would highly recommend you doing this. Always cast on extra 2 stitches, and then the first row we're going to be knitting. Okay, knit, 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 and then when you come back to start, I forgot to put my thingy here. I'll do that right away. I don't want to. So here I know that I'm starting a new row. So when I come here, I'm going to purl. So after doing that purl, on the 3rd row, we're going to start doing our decreases. Okay, and your hat should look like this. And then it's going to wet block, so it will get bigger. Nothing to worry about, because wool is fantastic. You can play around with wool. If you have scratchy wool in your stash, I would highly recommend you to use it. This way you can knit a nice warm hat, and you can wet block it, and you can felt it while you're doing that. It can be felt. The fibers will go into each other. Okay, so let me finish these 2 rows, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished. Let me just do this last. So I'm going to start a new row, and then I'm going to do my decrease right away. So I am going to knit 2 together, and then knit total of 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to do a decrease again, but I want to put a marker because I don't want to. So I believe we're going to do 9 decreases. Okay, I want to show you my markers I bought. I never used them. It was from the Chicken Stitches. I don't know where she is. She has an Etsy shop, but only patterns are sold. She used to make these knit markers. See? I don't know. I bought these. Can you see? Let me see if it's going to fit. Yeah, it does work. See, it has a sheep. I bought this, I don't know, over 10 years now. Isn't this cute? Yeah, she used to make these from the Chicken Stitches by Knitters for Knitters. Yeah. It's cute, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to knit 2 together. 8, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to knit 2 together, but I need to put a marker, and you just continue knitting like this row, and when we come back we're going to just do purl. So that's all you do. So I will come 2 rows later to do the decrease again, and I'll see you there. Okay, so I knitted a ridge, so I knit and I purled. So I know it's a little bit difficult for you to see, but I just love the texture. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to start doing the decrease rows. So here is my new the reason I'm doing my decrease is because I don't want to have a seam look to it. That's why I'm doing it when I'm changing the row. Okay, so I am going to decrease from here. So this is the previous row and this is the next row. So knit 2 together. Okay. And then I'm going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to knit these 2 stitches together. Okay, just move this, and I will put my marker here that I know it's a decrease. Knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then make a decrease. Yeah, can you see the markers in between? I should have put it right behind the decrease. So I will do that. So I will continue knitting, and when I finish this row, the next row I will do purl, and the next row I will do knit, and the next row I will do purl, and then when I come to the knit, so 3 rows we're going to be knitting, knit, purl, knit, after this purl, knit, and then purl, and when I come to the knit, we're going to do the decrease. Okay, I don't want to show it because then the video would be too long, and I don't want you to, you know, see something very simple, because we're just knitting and purling. That's all we're doing to create these ridges. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished another row. Before I continue, I just wanted to show you. So the way that I cast on stitches, it gives me this beautiful effect. I would highly recommend that this technique to cast on. And then when we count, if we look at it, 1, I know the ridges are really hard to see, but you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, if you can knit more than that, by all means you can try that. Then you would have a wider brim hat, but this is what I'm going to show you. And here I am. I just finished the row, and we're going to do the decrease. Yeah, I looked everywhere for a yarn to do the tutorial, but I can't find them. All in front of me is acrylic, but yeah, I know it's really hard for you to see, but you get the idea. I'm showing you the solid color one that I have knit, and I did this for a sample as I tried with different yarn. So I already used this yarn, and I don't have anything in my stash. So when you count, see, I'm not counting this cast on. I'm counting the ridges. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do 3 more. And then we're going to knit the top of the hat. So we'll be finishing the brim. Okay, so this is my changing row. So this is the reason I'm doing this, so I won't get that seam effect look as I did on this one. And I can't even find where I the beginning of the row, the ending of the row. Here it is. You can see it here, see? But it's really hard to find it. That's what I'm trying to say. So here is my decrease. I believe can't even find it. Yeah. Sometimes I can't find myself when I'm knitting. Okay, so we're going to do the decrease. And do the decrease. and move my marker, and then knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do the decrease. So get rid of 1 stitch, and I'm just going to continue doing this total of 8 times, and we will finish this row. After finishing the row, what you do is you knit 1 row of purl, 1 row of knit, 1 row of purl, and we come to the last decrease. So I'll just show you what I mean by knit, like 8, 9, 10. This is how you knit. 12, 13, 14. Well, I said knit, but it's actually purl, knit, purl, doing nothing, 3 rows. That's how you knit. And then you get 1 of ridge. Okay, so let me just continue knitting, and I will meet you on the last decrease. Okay, I've been knitting, and I just noticed I am done with the decrease, but I want to have 7 ridges. So I'm just going to continue knitting until I have a total of 7 ridges. So when I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to knit 2 more knit, purl until I have my 7. And when I come to the knit side, I will come to show you a trick. I'll be right back. Okay, I have knit total of 7 ridges. And what I'm going to do is this is a 7mm knitting needle, so I'm going to go to 5mm knitting needle. So we're going to go down. Here we go. If you can see. See, it's a 5. Okay, that's the easiest way I figured it out. This way we're going to knit tight. So we're going to continue knitting about, I would say, I'm just checking, about 11 centimeter or 4.5 inches, or even 5 inches for this area. Let me just show it you on the hat. Yeah, I think I knitted 11. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit total of if you have not yarn, yeah, that's the thing, I didn't have enough yarn. I used the entire ball. So on this one I'm just gonna knit 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches, and then when we come to the crown area, we're just gonna do our decreases. Okay, so I have the yarn. It's up to you. If you have plenty of yarn, knit 5 inches. If you don't, just knit as depending on the yarn you have. Okay, so I'm just gonna knit. That's all I'm going to do until I'm come to the crown area. Okay, and I don't need the marker anymore, because I'm not going to do any decreases. So, and try to knit as tight as you can. Put it on your head, try it, and I'll see you when I come to the crown area to do the decrease. Okay, I've been knitting, and you should have a total of 60 stitches. If you don't, you can do decreases. I had 3 extra, so I did decreases, and I've been knitting. So 5 inches total right here, as you can see. So we're going to do the crown area. So I divided this to 6, so there's 10 stitches on each. And now we're going to do our decrease for the crown area. Okay, so knit, knit, knit until you come to your 10th stitch. So I put a marker on the first row when we started, and then I am knitting. I divided to 6 pieces, so 10 stitches each, and then I am going to knit. So 2 together, and then I'm going to continue knitting this all the way around. Okay, just like this. And then knit. And I forgot to mention, I moved to a smaller knitting needle, so this is a 4. It's a little bit tight, but that's what I want. I want this. So knit 2 together, and then I will meet you at the beginning of the row. So continue knitting and doing your decrease on the 10th stitch, just like this. I did my last decrease, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to knit. No decreases on this row. So one row we do our decrease, and the other row we just knit. Just like this. Just plain knitting. 2, 4, 6, 8. So you should have 9 at the moment from stitch. Okay, so I will continue knitting. Just like this. Okay, let me finish this row and I'll come and start with the next row. Yeah, these rows are going faster because there's less stitches. So I did finish just the plain knitting row, and now I'm going to do the decrease. So I see my stitch marker and I do make my decrease just like this. It's a little bit tough to see, but it's there, and I just continue knitting until I come to the stitch marker and I make another decrease. And the next row is just going to be plain knitting, so I'm going to let you do the knitting because there's lots of knitting involved. We're almost done knitting the hat. Forgot to do the decrease. So you do your knitting and you do your decreases until you only have 1 stitch on each decrease. So you should have total of 10 stitches, and I will meet you then. This is all to it, and it's turning fantastic. I just love it. Yeah, so I'm gonna wet block it with you and show you how to wet block it. And if you want to felt it a little bit, because we don't want this to be small on our head, right? That's another thing. When you felt it, that means that it's going to shrink, and we don't want that. But by all means, if it's a little bit big and you're knitting with wool, so you can shrink it if you want by felting it, and I will show you how to do that. I'm just going to do a little bit of wet blocking, not too much. Okay, so I'm going to be knitting and I will be right back. Okay, so I've been knitting and I have knit, so almost done. So I'm doing my last knit after doing my decrease. I have 1 on each of the decrease, so total of 10 stitches. So knit them. And I'm just looking for my marker. Where are you? Okay, so I'm done knitting the last row. Well, there's nothing else left. So I'm just going to cut the yarn, grab a tapestry needle so I can, here we go. I'll just cut a little short one because I don't want to waste this yarn. I still have yarn to maybe not knit the whole hat, but at least I can knit the brim area and then play around with the colors that I have here. But the thing is, I don't have bulky yarn, so that's another thing. Okay, so I'm going to go through each of the stitches, and I will remove my markers and I'll be right back. Okay, so I had the yarn strand and I went around. I said you should have 10 stitches. No, it's 6 stitches because we did 6 times decrease on 10 stitches. I do apologize, yeah. Okay, so in the middle, I'm just going to poke it and then pull this and then secure the yarn. It's because I have knit it tight. It's a little bit tough to go through. So I'm just going to weave this end and this end when we started, and I'll be right back. Ta-da! It's done. The hat is done. You can leave it like this, but it won't be a bucket hat for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to wet block it and show you how you can do this. Need a towel. And what I do is Downy liquid fabric softener. I put a little bit of the liquid fabric softener, the wrinkle thing. It's Downy. It's in a purple container. It doesn't matter, but that's what I put. That's why it's white. And I filled it with distilled water. And I shake it. And I've been using it since. And yeah. So what you do is you just spray, spray, spray. I would highly recommend you to wet block your knitted items. And that's the best way, yeah. Inside out, just like this. Oops. Especially the brim area. And then you start working with your hands. So what you do is you pull it just like this. It is wool. You can agitate if you want. If you want to felt it like this. Don't put it in the dryer. I do not recommend that. It will shrink. It will felt. And it will shrink definitely. So by doing this, you're just blocking it and you're stretching it. So when you put your hat like this, it will stay. Okay, so I will continue work on it. And this part is worked on small needles, so it will be nice like this. And you can put it on your head mannequin if you want to shape it. But my idea is to turning this to a bucket hat, yeah. And the shape will stay fantastic like this. See, I didn't even do much work on this one. See how nice it stays? Just like this. See? So continue shaping it. I forgot my marker. And yeah, that's the main thing, wet block it. So I am focusing on this, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's still wet. Just wanted to show you how it looks like from the top. Yeah, still wet. Doesn't this look beautiful? The spiral. Just turn it a little bit. See what I mean, the brim? Well, when it dries up, you can fold it like this if you want. This one I am going to keep. I really, really like the color of the yarn. Again, I dyed this. I will put the link so you can look at it. So you need 100 gram, over 100, I would say. Just buy 200 gram of yarn to knit this up bulky if you want to knit bulky. Yeah, and I am working. I haven't started yet, but I'm trying to figure out a way to knit with 4-weight, because lots of people have 4-weight in their stash. that means that for this one, I cast on, I'm just looking at my notes here. For this one, I cast on 81 stitches, right? So I am planning to knit with 4-weight, so that would be more stitches, of course, being the yarn thinner than the bulky. Just give you an idea, I even put a diagram here to start the brim and do the decreases. This is my multiplication. This is how I create something. Again, to make something, to create something, you have to have an inspiration. Definitely. So let me put this on. This is the Lion Brand yarn. This one is a tip smaller than this one. Yeah, this one, this size is perfect. Let me just move this around. So this, if you look at it, you can see the difference. See? So what I did is I knitted more on the crown area, and I knitted more on this area, so 5 inches, perfect, and it fits my head perfect. It's still wet, so I'm gonna let this dry, and I will take pictures, and I will post that on my Instagram page. So if you want to come and check my Instagram page, the link's on the description just under the video. You can just go Angora_Valera is my Instagram page. For some reason I have a fan Facebook page over a decade, and I can't post pictures when I'm creating albums. I just can post it through my mobile, my cell phone. I don't know what's up with that. That's another thing. But yeah, come and join me on my Instagram page so you can see videos, pictures that I share on finished items, projects that I'm working on. Yeah, so I hope you like this tutorial. So stay tuned for that. I'm still working on it. Well, in my head I was working on it, so I'm going to start knitting. Yeah, this is going to go to the homeless, but this one I'm going to keep. Mostly I donate, and I have another box that I'm going to be donating, and yeah, and I do my tutorial so you guys can learn something from me. Yeah, something new, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to hit that notification button. So every time I post a new video, you will be notified, indicating there's something new for you to watch. I still have 1 ball because there was a total of 3. And then I have this left. I can make a smaller hat. Yeah, that will even work. But I'm going to keep this one. You guys take care, and I'll see you on my next tutorial. Happy knitting. Bye-bye.